Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Goers Podcast. My name is Jordan. You can find me on all socials at Jordy B Writing.
And I'm Darius, D's all up in the area on all socials.
And we'll be reviewing The Wood. This movie was released in 1999. The Wood stars Omar Epps, Richard T. Jones, Taye Diggs, Tomala Jones, Melinda Williams, Sanaa Lathan, Dwayne Finley, Trent Cameron, Sean Nelson, DeAndre Bonds, and Lisa Ray McCoy. This movie is about three old friends, Mike, Roland, and Slim, who recount their memories of their shared childhood in Inglewood, California, as they prepare for Roland's wedding to his fiancee, Lisa. When the groom goes missing without a word, Mike and Slim struggle to find their nervous friend and return him to his impatient bride before the wedding begins. Along the way, they continue to swap stories about lessons learned during their awkward teenage years. So I'll toss it to you to let them know why we chose this movie.
Because every black man has a coming of age story of his own, and we thought it'd be boring to just tell ours, so we used the movie to sort of pivot from that. So it's a great classic coming of age story, and that's why we chose it. We wanted to do one, and this one fits the bill. We're going to go into Act One, which we titled The Present Day Crisis. This act establishes the present day situation, Roland's wedding day, and his sudden disappearance. I would just like to say off the top, breaking the fourth wall in narration is usually lazy filmmaking, but in this particular way, it works. Normally, I hate both
Correct.
narration and breaking the fourth wall, but it works. It works in a way, it works in this movie. I don't even know why it works, but it worked and I enjoyed it. Normally I hate it. So that's just I wanted to say that off the bat.
That's funny. That's one of the notes I had too. Is as a '90s kid, I do love breaking the fourth wall. So like movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Saved by
Yeah.
the Bell, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, all that stuff. So they did it perfectly. I like the spice with the voiceover, and I like that in the first scene where he does the break the fourth wall, he also breaks it with his friend Slim.
Yes.
So it's kind of like it's like okay, everybody's in on the joke sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, my first impression of The Wood is that this movie reminds me a lot of Soul Food, like the food, not the
Yes.
movie. In the sense that it's comforting, not like Soul Food, the movie.
Okay, gotcha.
No one's fucking anybody's husband in this movie.
Yeah.
But it's warm, makes you feel good. It always brings back fond memories. The characters are very relatable. The music just takes you back to growing up, in the '90s, crisscross, all that stuff, the baggy clothes, all that. Although they're set in the '80s, but just brings you back to your childhood. So that's one of my first takeaways of the movie.
One of mine is so he if immediately flashes back to like was he an army kid or his mom was a nurse or something.
His mom was a nurse.
So maybe a traveling nurse. I don't know. He moved a lot as a kid. And so
Right.
they settle into LA from North Carolina. Shout out our home, we are based in North Carolina. And so he moves to LA and it's his first day of school and he meets his what turned out to be his lifelong friends.
Yep.
But I just want to say he also it's like the first day of school and first hour of class, and he meets this very pretty young lady. Speaking of soul food, the lady who plays Bird in the TV show is the I forget her name, Lisa in the
Alicia.
yeah, Alicia, Felicia.
Yeah.
Anyways, nigga, you too horny. Why are you this like you just saw her? Nothing happened. You just like you can't control yourself. All you did was see her. Like she ain't hug you, she ain't touch you. You ain't like not a blow a kiss. Like you just can't stand in front of the class
And
because
he's
you
like, "Oh
saw her.
no, I'm on hard and I can't
Yeah, like
get up."
nigga, too horny, bro. And I get it. There are a few things on earth hornier than a teenage boy. You still
Yeah,
too
that's a
horny.
fact.
You still too horny.
I,
Like, there's nothing more hornier than a teenage boy, and you still too horny, nigga. Like, come on, man. It shouldn't be. I mean,
I
get
think she
yourself
heard you.
together. Get yourself together, buddy.
Like you're supposed to think of like math homework and like cutting the grass and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to have your fail safes
Bro, you ain't
when you
even.
get
It
in those
ain't even. It wasn't
situations.
even a hug, my guy. Tighten up, bruh. Poor choice of
Right.
words,
It's like
but
you didn't
like,
even see,
get it
but it's
together.
like
We'll
you
put it
didn't
that
even.
way.
Yeah, man. It's like you didn't even see like it wasn't like she was touching you or nothing. Just
Nothing, nothing.
off
Like
rip. Like
she didn't speak to you. It's like, dude, come
no,
on,
that shit is
man.
crazy.
I've been a horny teenage boy. I wasn't that horny.
Yeah. I mean, you would get the random ones in class, whatever, but like
Yeah,
not just for no reason. Like
not
that
for
shit was
no
crazy.
reason. Not for
Yeah,
no
not for no
reason.
reason. That was
Oh, it's
that was
just
insane.
get it together, man. Get it together.
That's hilarious. I also want to say a takeaway from me is I'm a big fan of writer directors.
Yeah.
So shout out to the writer and director of this movie, Rick Fumiyawa. Hope I'm not fucking his name up. But he's got some credits. He actually also wrote and directed, or directed at least, Brown Sugar.
Okay.
He did Dope. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I have not
It's like
seen Dope. Obviously, I've seen
came out in
Brown Sugar.
2015. It's like a coming of age movie, but about kids who like
Oh,
love the 90s. It's got like Zoe Kravitz and ASAP
I've heard
Rocky.
of it.
It's really,
Um,
really good.
okay. I have an
It's like
observation about the director later in the movie,
okay.
his skill level, but it's not chronologically where we are. So,
Gotcha, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a big fan of his. He actually does a lot of stuff with Disney for like The Mandalorian and shit. So
Okay.
he's legit.
Shout out to there's a lot of subtle things he does that, and maybe this was one of his first ones.
I believe so,
Yeah,
yeah.
it shows he has a skill for the craft. Um,
Yes, absolutely.
so good one.
Even like the long shots in the movie, like it's not a lot of quick cuts and shit. Like you can tell he prepared his cast to really do good work.
And I mean, honestly, like the script is pretty thin, and he keeps you into it for 2 hours.
Yes, yeah, he
Like
really does.
there's it's it's a movie about flashbacks, but
Hmm.
all the interesting stuff is in like the present day stuff isn't really that interesting. Like,
Right, not
but he
at all.
keeps it the way he's able to interwove it. I don't know if I use that right, but he does it well, and he
Yeah,
keeps
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
engaged. Because the present day stuff doesn't really get interesting until like there's a couple scenes where like the puking in the car is funny.
yeah.
So but I thought okay, he did a really good job. So my first question to you is, have you ever been the new kid in a new environment?
Yeah, I've been the new kid a few times actually. So I didn't
Like
move my
college doesn't
whole
count. I mean, you have to be the only new
no, no,
one.
no.
You know,
Yeah, no, no, yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
new in
Like
college, right?
yeah, like I was gonna count that. Yeah. So everyone, I didn't move like a lot, but I moved at
Okay.
like random times because I'm the oldest. So I went to two middle schools and two elementary schools. Um, so we moved after first grade from Chapel Hill to Cary, and it was like a brand new school, so technically everybody was a new kid. But because I was from a new area, it's a little
Okay.
different. And then after seventh grade, we moved to Raleigh from Cary, which is not a
Okay.
far move, but when you're a kid, it feels like a million miles away.
Okay.
And they split our neighborhood in half. So half my neighborhood went to school literally across the street, like a mile away. And then the other half, which I was a part of, was went to school was bus 20 miles or 20 minutes downtown
Okay.
to go to school. So you're at school with kids who don't live near you, who like it was like a middle school version of the school from Lean on Me. Like
Yeah.
it was just not
So the thing is,
not
we
a
might
good
have
school at
some
all.
young listeners, so we should set the context.
Oh, right, yeah.
Um, Pre-social media, if you moved 3 exits down the highway, you fell off the face of the earth. Like
You
it
were done. You're yeah, yeah. Like your
like,
friendship was over with
yeah,
anybody
like if
that
you
you knew.
didn't, there was
Like
no keep in touch. Like there was no way. It wasn't this thing where like your college friends are just like in your life via the internet forever.
right,
Like if
forever.
a
Yeah.
kid changed schools, he functionally just died. Like it didn't, you never heard from them again. So that is some context
No,
for the
dead
story
ass.
you're telling.
Yeah. And so I go there and it's a complete culture shock because I went to like good schools my whole life. And then you go
Yeah.
to, that type of shit. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? And so like in that environment, you're first of all, you're the new kid, so you're weird. And you're like, you knew and you're like from the suburbs or grew up in the suburbs at some point. So you're like really weird. So that was a big adjustment period for sure. Um, and then when I went to eighth grade, we went to school across the street that we were supposed to have gone to. So there was elementary school, middle school, and high school all lined up next to each other. So everybody there in high school had known each other since they were like 5 years old.
Okay.
And then and then I'm the new kid there
Mm.
with like six other kids from my school, and then just all these other kids who I don't know who live 2 minutes away from me. So
Did you
that was
have
another
a
adjustment
Roland and a
period.
Big Mike?
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay.
It's weird. So my parents made me take like hard electives because they didn't want me to have like a bullshit transcript when I went to apply for schools and stuff.
Okay.
And so the electives I took freshman year were like harder electives than most freshmen were taking. So a lot of my friends were seniors
Okay.
freshman year. But they were really cool. Like they looked out for me, whatever, gave me rides home and stuff like that. Um, and then they definitely helped me get through it for sure because you just feel more comfortable when you're accepted, obviously as a kid, and especially when you're young and you're intimidated by older Pete kids. Like it could have went left if they were
Okay.
assholes. They were like really, really nice. And also like I was a really small kid too. Like I didn't hit my growth spurt until I was like 15, 16. So I
Okay.
was like 5 feet tall as a freshman. Like I remember like before my first day of high school, my dad was like, just make friends with at least one or two bigger kids So you that you're like okay, like
I was the exact opposite. I was tall younger, and then I just stopped
yeah,
growing in like the ninth grade. Like I tapped out. I'm 5'10" and some change. I round up to 5'11", and I've been that height since like ninth grade. I don't know. I've dunked a basketball all of four times in my life, and I just knew that I was gonna be like yamming on people, and I just in an empty gym, with a running head start and nobody calling traveling, I could dunk. So
right,
I have dunked before, but it never like in an actual game. It was like a game of horse.
right.
Um, as an adult, have you ever had to integrate yourself into a new environment?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think we've all had to do that with like new jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a little more. Those are
I mean, like a social
like
environment.
gotcha. Okay, yeah. So my friend group, I have different friend groups, but one of my friend groups now, um, is like everybody went to school together. Like they all went to college together for the most part. So they've all known each
Okay.
other since they were like 19. And I just met them through like one of my other friends who I had my original podcast with. And I just would go to events and parties and I'd meet more people and they'd fuck with me and they'd invite me to more stuff. And so it was like one, I'm a year or two younger than all of them. And then also I went to A&T, they went to Aggie Pride, and they went to UNCG.
Okay.
And so in theory, we would have met at some point, but we didn't, which is kind of funny. But uh, that's probably the closest thing. Actually, no, that's a lie. Poetry scene. When I first started doing open mic night, I was there by myself and I didn't really know anybody.
Yeah.
And it can be, and I've even heard this from people who have been to the event themselves at times, like where it can come across a bit like clicky or
Yeah.
like, or you could feel like an outsider if you don't know at least like one person.
So I never people say that as a pejorative, but it's the most human thing ever to protect the in group from invaders. Like,
Right.
like no, you're not going to show up on day one and be welcomed anywhere in open arms. You have to ingratiate
Yeah.
yourself to the culture of the group that you're trying to become a member of.
Yeah.
And I don't like when people say clicky, they think it's like a pejorative, and I don't.
Right.
I think it's the most human shit ever.
Yeah,
I was
humans are
waiting on you
tribal
to
by
give the most
nature.
example. Ingratiating yourself into the bar we drink at.
Oh, where we go? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so. Yeah, I
like
forgot
that's
about that.
I was feeding it to you, and
Oh shit, my bad. Well, yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I thought about it, but I was like, well, because it's not like we all work, like we all grew up together and anything, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt at first like a little bit of an outsider. I mean, no one was rude or anything, but
yeah.
you could tell like, oh, y'all had history and shit, you know. But eventually, obviously, like, I mean, sound arrogant, whatever. But like my personality, I'm pretty affable, so most people take to me anyway. So for the most part, I'm never really too concerned about it, but it's always nice when people are welcoming to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a, if you can hold your liquor, you can hang. It's
Yeah,
really the
really,
only
that's it. Like,
prerequisite.
and I also like I tell my friend, like people who like don't really know me, I'm like I'm the friendliest loner you'll ever meet. Like I have a lot of friends and
Yeah.
people that I hang out with, but I also don't mind doing stuff by myself, which I do pretty often.
I well, I've moved a lot as I moved to California and then I moved to North
Yeah,
Carolina. So I have, some experience with that. Mostly I don't know. Like I still feel like a loner in the sense that like I mean obviously I
yeah,
have friend
yeah,
groups and things like that, but um yeah, I guess you kind of have I ingratiated myself into North Carolina culture? I would say yes. This is more home for
right,
me than I've spent more years as an adult in Raleigh than
right.
I did in Minnesota, in Minneapolis.
Hmm.
So this is home.
So another thing I always think about when I watch this movie is this has to be one of the best looking casts of all time. Like this is like right
Yes.
up there with like The Best Man and maybe like probably like Soul Food maybe or I'm blanking on some other shit, but like yeah, this is just a beautiful cast all around. And also I love that there's like actual like black people who look black, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that there's like that there's dark skinned people in here also that are like made to be attractive. You know what I mean? That's something that's kind of rare nowadays. It feels like
Yeah.
because I think
Well, there was a tweeter of I'm sorry, like 90 years old. There was a tweet that I sent you, and it was just like all the black movies we used to get, like just normal black movies that weren't about just being black, like they just were
right,
black people like in the movie
just
just doing
existing,
regular
just
shit.
existing.
And
Yeah,
like that's just a genre that I mean, like only thing we're
it
left now
doesn't
is with
exist.
Tyler Perry slop. and
Yeah,
get your money. I
it's
ain't mad at it, but I just not for me,
no, I feel you. And it's funny because I was thinking about it today, and I was like, if this movie was remade today, it'd be cast with like Zendaya and
Yeah.
Amanda Stenberg. Like,
And there'd be like a unnecessary BLM protest and like it would have to be about that. It wouldn't just be a coming of age story because, like and the thing it's artful in that it's about black people, but it stays true to its blackness, but it isn't,
yes,
like the cops pulling them over. That
right,
was like it was a way to show that this is you're still black in LA in the 90s dealing with the
correct.
LAPD, but it wasn't about that and it
They
wasn't
didn't turn it into Boys in the Hood.
correct and it wasn't a tragedy story and the
Right,
irony in that the robbery they just did got them out of that
saved
trouble
them.
because I'm willing to bet and you call me crazy that Stacy's
Yeah.
firearm was not registered. Uh
Oh hell no, no. He
he
ain't
was
paid for
not
that shit.
licensed to conceal and carry that firearm. I'm willing to
I
bet
don't
just
think
going
that.
out on the limb.
Yeah, yeah. Something tells me the high school kid probably didn't pay for a
No.
legal firearm.
No, I don't think he took the classes. I don't think he got this paperwork straight.
Nah,
I don't think there's any
I don't
serial
think
numbers
he's.
on that firearm.
I don't think he's ever seen a target
No,
or a bullseye or anything
absolutely
like
not.
that.
He bought that out of someone's garage in their trunk.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
So
he bought that out of somebody's suitcase.
he was going to jail if they found that gun.
Oh yeah, you know that serial number was scratched off.
Oh yeah, that's Fed time on a scratch cereal.
Facts.
Anything else for Act One?
Uh oh yeah. One other thing too, another thing that it's not even like a big beef, it's just like people from other states treat North Carolina or like certain parts of the South like it's all like Texas. And it's like he's like, my name Mike, and this how we do it
Yeah,
in North Carolina.
North
Like,
Carolina.
I think she purdy. We don't talk like that. We don't sound like that, yo. I don't know who the fuck started that rumor.
So this is the 90s.
I know,
And
yeah,
every caricature, every Southern character in the 90s was just like, because like who has a hold of
yeah.
pop culture? New York City and LA,
Yeah, that's true.
who
Yeah.
have no like now Atlanta is part of the scene, so you're gonna get less
Yeah. And Chicago, that's pretty much
caricature
it.
Southerners. But yeah, the 90s they thought I'm not. I
Yeah.
guess I am a Southerner now. They thought we just talk like that.
Yeah.
I still get that
Like I
though. I
remember
got friends back home who just make jokes like, "Do you still like drive a stagecoach and
yeah,
like
like
different
in
things
a
like
fucking
that?"
buggy and shit.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
wish I had my
remember
phone. I don't have my phone. I record, but we had a funny exchange the other day. I was like, yeah, man. Actually, we still use the barter system. So instead of money, like I'll trade like 4 apples for like for some wool, so I can make a new coat. Like,
right.
yeah, we don't actually have money down here. We still use the barter system.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like ridiculous. I
yeah,
remember so I used to work at a movie theater and I was doing a concession stand and this guy came up to us and he was like from New York and you know how they be assholes sometimes. And he was like, "Oh wow, this is like actually like really nice area, da, 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 whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I thought y'all had like buggies and carts and what's the shit? Tumbleweed and shit." Like,
yeah.
and it's like, really, nigga? Like, you don't have TV? Like,
Well, I mean, so obviously that's ridiculous, but
right.
it is like I've moved here in 2014, and
Hmm.
the modernization of the area I've lived in just the last 11 years is 10
That's
years
true.
is
Yeah, it's grown a lot.
remarkable. Like there were so many like when I like the neighborhood I live in, I've lived in the same neighborhood for all my whole time I've lived here.
Hmm.
Um it was just trees before, like one building and tree.
Yeah, yeah,
There was no commerce. There was like one bar. There was no like
yeah.
there were no restaurants anywhere near. It was just
Yeah.
like it was just trees and housing, and that was it. But now, like the area has, you can. There's a coffee shop. There's a like
Right.
a Bojangles, a Wendy's, more than a handful of bars, a cafe. There's different things you can do, and that's just been in the last 10 years that I've lived here. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It has developed a lot for sure.
I want to get an act two.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, so Act Two, we're gonna call the formative years. This is where they're delving into the past. The movie showcases the childhood and teenage experiences of Mike, Roland, and Slim. As far as the script goes and a narrative perspective, this is probably like this was it their prom? Did they call it a prom or was it just a dance? It was a
I
dance. It
think
was a
yeah, just
dance.
dance because this was their
So
like their eighth grade dance or
So
whatever.
yeah, it flashes it present day. They locate Roland at his ex-girlfriend's house. first love, ex-girlfriend, and then it flashes back real quick to their
He just
first
made
meet.
all kinds of mistakes in this movie.
We really just moved right past the fact that he spent the night before his wedding at his ex-girlfriend's house. We
With his
kind of
ex-girlfriend's house.
they kind of
Oh,
Euro
that's
stepped right
you know
past
what?
that.
I left that out of my first outfit. Listen, if nobody in the history of cinema is gonna fuck up a wedding, Tay Diggs is gonna fuck up somebody's
Yeah,
wedding.
true. But I mean, I'm like, we really just Euro. No, what? We're not gonna dive into what happened there. Anyways, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they get to the dance.
Do you think they
Um,
fuck?
I don't know if I presented to you these facts, what would you come up with? The night before his wedding, he gets drunk and goes to his ex-girlfriend's house.
Yeah, yeah, I
His
think so.
ex-girlfriend does not have a man. I didn't see no man in
No,
that place. Uh, and she didn't immediately call. Like, why didn't she
she
call
didn't.
Mike?
I
Why
think she
didn't she
said he'd
call?
been there for like
What
an
is? It's Mike Roland and who's the
Mike Roland and Slim.
Slim? Okay, cool. So like,
Yeah,
she didn't call Mike and be like, "Hey, I know she know he's getting married tomorrow." Like,
right.
what did they do in the time between when
And
his arrival and when she called them?
when they get there, well, I think she said he got there like an hour before she called them,
What
but
you know
that could
that's
have been a
called
lie.
lying.
Yeah, yeah, I'm about to
Where
say
was
that's
he
probably a
at?
lie. And by the way, yeah, you're right because also wearing your wedding tux to your old work's house is fucking insane.
Yeah. They never like this Euro like he just went right back to his wedding. Was like, all right, I got that out of my system. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's still smelling like your ex-girlfriend's house. That's crazy.
So I did her perfume and everything. I did want to say, I apologize about beating your ass the other day is a crazy lie.
Yo, dog. About beat. He's like, man, I'm sorry I made you bleed, bro. I
This
just
is
had to
how
protect my sister.
violent the 90s were. Like that's just like that was really that's just how you resolve conflict. Like it was
Yeah.
it's just like my bad for whooping your ass the other day, man. Oh, it's
Yeah,
all good.
just on principle I had to, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Well, he
You
took the
tried to
whooping
grab
like
my
a G
sister.
though, and he threw the first
He
punch.
did. And he
So
threw the first punch. I don't know why he stopped, but he threw the first punch.
I mean, that right there was like I mean, that was almost like his initiation into the in group. Like at that point, they were
Yeah.
like,
All right,
so
he's cool.
when I so so when I first I dated a woman, my first girlfriend I dated until in my early 20s. And so
Hmm.
that ended. And I met my boy, one of my good friends to this day at the job we were working at. And he was like, we were doing side by sides. And he was like, come out with me tonight. We're going to da 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 da. And I was like,
Yeah.
bet. And he had like two or three other friends there. So I'm an out group and they're the in group. And so we went to
Yeah.
this club and you know, we didn't it wasn't a plan, but like we do this thing when we hit the club, especially as single men in our early mid 20s, we sprawl
Yeah.
out. I ain't there for you niggas. I'm here for the women in
Yeah,
this
no,
club.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
His name's Jarvis. I'll say his name. Jarvis, one of my good friends, he said, man, we was just like kicking it, you know, just looking up. And I look up and you're on the wall and this woman is working you. And I was like, he's one of us. I was like, from that moment, we've been friends ever since. I was like, we just let invite this little nigga out. He looks a little, he was like, you look a little corny. I'm just invite you out, show a good time. He's like, we get to the club and you just disappear. And like, I look up and I find you on the wall with this woman. And I was like, he's one of us. It's like, he was like, I just knew at that point you could hang. You're one of us, and this is you know honestly we've been friends ever since. Shit, we
That's
talk damn near every day.
hilarious.
So
That's funny. That reminds me of the story. Remember you were like told me that when I first started going to where we hang out at,
yeah,
where you were like, y'all would just watch me talk to talk
yeah.
to groups of
Walk up
people.
to tables full of women, ice cold. Uh, I mean it was, and I was fresh off the porch because I didn't really know.
Yeah.
I mean this might have been my fifth time ever in a club, you know, and
Oh
so
wow. Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
know what I was on. But that shout out to that woman, whoever she was. You know,
Yeah.
it I
I
never
miss
saw
when
her
clubs were
again, but
fun.
she was all over me. And I didn't I was I you know I ain't had no damn rhythm. I was trying to stay on the keep a balance.
You
And
was
but he
you
was
couldn't catch
like,
it. You couldn't catch it.
I did a decent job. Jarvis was like, you was struggling, but you did it, and you're one of us now. So I guess
So
that
you
is
had
my
that moment
story.
like So
Go
you had
ahead.
that moment like Roland. So you had that moment like Roland and Slim did when they were
Yes.
like, "Yo, look, 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 look! He's dancing with old girl."
Her numbers were 10 of these skeezers in here. So and they're a little bit older than me too, so it was a cool
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, it makes
little
sense.
moment. So I still use nervous as a hooker in church. To this day I still use that line. That Mike
No, this movie
said
has some
when he
good
was
lines.
walking up to talk to Felicia at
Uh,
the club.
Alicia at the dance,
Yeah.
yeah.
I keep saying Felicia. It's Alicia. So
Oh, you know it's funny? So I would know we talked about this movie before, obviously, but and we were talking about how like were they really playing Is This World Mine in school dances in the 80s? So I literally hit my dad up and was like, "Hey, when you were in dances in school, did they play If This World Was Mine?" And
yeah.
he was like, "In high school, no." And then he just
It's
goes, "Why are you asking me this?"
it's a corny, it's a corny song. It is. And like
Yeah.
why not just play We Are the World? It's like, I mean, we don't play any of his music anymore, but it's like playing I Believe I Can Fly. Like it's like
Right. That is a little,
just it's
yeah.
corny, man. Like we don't need inspirational music at the teenage dance.
Yeah. Not for you.
So
Um,
I guess him and Alicia started dating at that point, right?
yeah, like over the summer, and then
Yeah.
they like fast forward to like high school or
Yeah.
yeah, high school.
But he got her number.
Yeah, he
So
got her number. He
yeah.
asked her out. You know.
And we go to present
Um,
day and they link up with they final dude at his ex's house.
yeah,
Be like, hey man, we gotta get you
he's
to your
handling
wedding. Whatever happened is between you two consenting adults.
between them and God.
And so Roland vomits in the car all over their
All
stuff.
over the new, bruh. And the
Mike,
new
my
whip
guy,
was
or
crazy.
Slim, my guy,
Slim.
$300 for some dress shoes is not that much. Like that's
Well, it was the 90s, so that's like $1,000 today.
It's fair enough. I did not put that in the inflation calculator, so I stand corrected. So, anyways, go ahead. What were you saying?
um, okay, so what did you think about their tuxes for the wedding?
They were
Were
very
they trash?
90s. They were trash, but like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were. I mean, go look at my. I could pull up my prom pictures. The tuxes were terrible because like suits were just big back then. We all dressed like Steve
yeah,
Harvey,
right.
and so you look at the Kings of Comedy. All those suits were terrible. Well, said got a
Oh
fit
God,
off, but the rest of the suits were terrible.
yeah. They to this day most of them dress like trash.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Well, it's
Harvey.
just like I think we overcorrected and suits got too tight, but like suits are
Yeah,
not supposed to be baggy, man. Like they're supposed
right,
to
right, right.
fit your
Yeah,
yeah, they've gotten too tight, but like baggy, like there's just, you're supposed to be
nah,
able to
it's
you're supposed
I
to
feel
be
you.
able to lift your arms without it falling apart, but also it ain't supposed to be draped all over you. So
Correct. Yeah, it's funny. My parents actually got married in '99,
yeah.
and I was in the wedding, and so like my dad, he wore like the white, the trip like the triple white tux
Yeah.
with the tails and shit.
With the tail?
So like yeah, with the tails and shit. Yeah, it was super '90s.
All right, fair enough. Um,
Um,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
sorry.
Okay, yeah. So see, oh, one thing I did love about their friendship is that they were never haters. Like it was
No.
never no like slick hater shit. Like they when he was dancing with Alicia, they were like, "Yo, look, he's
Yeah.
doing it." You know, when he got her number, they were like, "Well, you win the bet because that's more
Yeah.
worth more than all the ones we got tonight."
We're 10 of these skeezers in here. Um, Yeah, the callback in the gas station store
Mhm.
when they break out Mike's dance moves from the very first
Oh yeah,
dance. Like that's how tight their friendship was. They got jokes
yeah.
calling back from 20 years ago at a
20
middle
years
school
ago,
dance.
that
Like
nigga said,
um and then Roland had the grits in his head. Nigga, no one's cooking you
"What
breakfast.
the fuck were you doing with grits?
No one's cooking you
anybody,
grits.
anybody cooking you breakfast?"
Nigga, put that shit up. They were like professors at Harvard with the mitts. I did want to say though, so the movie the earlier when I said something that I noticed that the director did that was really well.
Mhm.
I love a movie show don't tell. It's a recurring
Right.
thing to the pod. And so they go to Mike in high school, and there's a noticeable shift in his comfort and assuredness of himself.
Yes.
And he doesn't say, I grew more comfortable as I got more,
I
into
got more
LA.
confident now.
He's just there's more bass in his voice, his back is tighter. He's
Yeah.
in the in group at that
He
point.
seems older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's fully assimilated into the in group. He's a member. He's joking back with them. His terrible
Yeah.
Southern accent is gone. And there's nothing wrong with the Southern accent, but It was just the way
It
that they
was, yeah.
signaled to audience, Mike has grown up. Mike is used to this, and they
Hmm.
didn't tell us. They showed us, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love that a
And even
lot.
his hairstyle was different. He had his
Yeah,
ears pierced.
he just they showed us that he over
Hmm.
time he had grown more comfortable and more sure of himself. And they
Right.
showed it. They didn't tell us. He didn't have him break the fourth wall and say, "As I got into high school, I grew into my manhood." And it's just like it just
Right.
showed it, and I love that. I love that very much. So
I've now hit puberty and I can start to
yeah,
move.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
It's like
show don't tell. All directors, all screenwriters, show don't tell.
yeah, that's a fact. I do also want to say that the real hero in this movie is Tanya, the ex who he
Yes,
may or may not have slept with, because
he fucked that
letting
girl.
dudes. Oh yeah, yeah, he did. Because
Anyways,
you see all them niggas naked together and had no problem with it, so clearly he
yeah.
fucked this nigga. But letting him clean off in your backyard, giving him clothes to wear, taking care of him, giving him coffee and shit. She definitely made it possible for that nigga to save his relationship.
Also underrated hero, dry cleaner lady, turning three suits
Yes,
around in an
shout out to
hour
the
is
dry cleaner lady.
I don't know how she pulled that off. Three
Yeah,
whole suits filled with vomit
filled
in an
with
hour.
puke.
In an
Yeah.
hour? Um,
Yeah. And them shirts
but
were cream too.
my favorite thing is they show back up to, I guess that's Act Three, but yeah, underrated that she got that turned around that fast. I'm sure she
Yeah.
taxed them, but you have to pay the tax
Oh yeah, I'm
sometimes.
sure she charged heavy for that, but
Oh yeah, she
they were in
had
a
to.
bind.
Shit, she better.
What was they gonna do? Yeah.
I want 100 a suit. If you want me to turn this around in an
No.
hour, I need $300. Like
Yeah, for real.
if you want me to clean puke out of this suit and you want it turned
Yep.
around in an hour, I need 300. Out of 100 a suit. So you got anything else for Act
Yeah,
Two?
by the way, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good on Act Two. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, yeah, by the way, like they had that wedding must have been the latest wedding of all time.
Yeah,
Because them niggas went and got pizza,
yeah.
puked and had to clean the clothes off, took a shower, all in
It
however long how long
it
that
was
was.
a movie. Because what were the people just sitting around all day? No one was like, "Hey, where are the
Hey,
guests?"
right.
The guests weren't like, my sitters ended at 8. Like,
Yeah, right. Like they're like, so no one's like, hey, where's the groom and the best man and the other best man?
it's a movie because like
Like,
they get to the wedding and it's we'll just want to go. Okay, we'll just start Act Three.
yeah, we just yeah,
All right, so we're gonna go into Act Three, and in Act Three, we're gonna call this resolution and reflection. This act returns to the present day, resolving the conflict of Roland's disappearance. My first observation, I've already burned with the suits taking turning 1 hour to turn around three suits is impossible. But yeah, I mean, I'll just say that
yeah,
some movie magic is on that timeline because
right,
how are the guests like the only people like the guests have shit to do like your wedding isn't like
correct.
everybody in that wedding isn't giving their whole day to this wedding so like
No,
one
no,
ass
not at all.
like we're late.
Unless it
Movie
was a no
magic.
kids wedding.
Movie magic. How do you feel about
Yeah.
no kids weddings?
Uh, that's a good question. I actually have three weddings this year, and I think at least one of them is a no kid. Well, not I don't think it's a no kid wedding. Sorry, it's a no kid reception, I believe.
Right.
Um,
Do you not you want to plead the fifth or you want me just to give my take?
oh no, I can answer the
Okay.
question. Yeah, no,
All right,
I
fair
just
enough.
thinking out loud.
I didn't know if you're
Uh,
compromised.
honestly, no. Yeah, for me, I'm cool with it because it's your like it's one, it's your
Yeah.
day. You can do whatever you want, and two, like kids are loud, especially if they're young and they're babies
Yeah.
and they're crying and shit. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I can't fault anybody for doing that.
So again, it's your wedding. You can make whatever decision you want. It's your it's the one day you get to be,
Selfish
royalty
or
basically.
selfish. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I again, but for me, a wedding is about a celebration of family and family involves children.
fair.
And
That's
as
true.
far as like crying during the like that's what parents are for. If you have a baby and it starts crying during the vows, you excuse yourself and take the baby out. Like
Fair.
is do we like I don't even understand. Like if I had a newborn, if I had a 6 month old baby and I'm attending a wedding and the baby gets colicky or whatever, I'm just going to be like, excuse myself, take them out
Yeah.
because again, that's their moment. Like I don't understand how this is a problem.
No.
Like,
I feel you.
aren't the
What?
parents
So
not there?
you would think? Okay, so I was at a funeral a few months back,
Yeah,
and there was a toddler. Was it a toddler? Yeah, toddler crying, whatever. Like cried through like the whole service, and like the parent did not take the kid out,
yeah.
and
See,
it was just
that's
like,
a parenting thing.
right.
like if you're stuck on a plane, okay, cool. Where you gonna go?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that's why God made noise canceling
That's
headphones.
fair.
But
Although
like,
I do think at a certain point in the reception, I don't know the kids necessarily need to be there the entire
well, I mean,
time.
at a certain point at the reception, the parent people with kids leave. Like you're not gonna be
Well,
there till
true.
drunk, till 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
but no, like I don't have any children at my wedding. And like I don't mind kids. Like I used to travel a lot for work, and like you just get a good pair of headphones on a plane. Like people complain about babies crying on planes. Like I never hear the shit. Like
Yeah.
like I listen to the Dot's new album. I'm listening to Pusha T. I don't hear these children, and it's like kids
Yeah.
have to exist in public too.
Yeah, no,
And
I
it's
do.
like
I hate those people. Yeah, I hate those
yeah,
people who are like, "Why are kids here?" And it's like, okay, well,
well,
they
fuck, it's the
exist so they're
library.
humans. Yeah, nigga, like, yeah, they'll be like, "What are these kids doing here?" And it's
I
just
saw
like they're kids
motherfuckers
being kids,
saw
bro.
what's that? The Incredibles or the Minions, and was like, I
Yeah.
went there and the theater was full of kids. It's a cartoon, nigga. Your big ass shouldn't be there. You
Yeah,
intruding
no,
on they shit. He's like, all
yeah,
these
like
kids was talking and laughing during Minions. You're 36. Like, what the fuck is you talking about, man?
that's crazy. Yeah, like it's like for example, like they're doing Shrek 5. It's gonna come out,
Yeah,
I think maybe next year, year after next, whatever.
yeah,
And like, will I go see it? Probably. Will
yeah,
I go see it when I know kids are gonna be there? No. I'm gonna go
yeah.
see it at nighttime.
Yeah, like you have to, you can't, well, like you don't go to Chuck E. Cheese and be like, why are these kids here?
What the right? What the fuck?
You and
There
they
should be an age
shit.
limit.
Yeah, if you want to see Shrek without children, then you need to check that 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Like,
Right. Come on, bro. Like
you went
have some
on a
common
Friday
sense.
afternoon and wondered mad that children are there. Like all these
Yeah.
toddlers are here. When they
Yeah, no,
go,
I
when
feel you.
they're supposed to go see
And
that
for
shit.
me, like I don't see myself doing a no kids wedding because like my friends are gonna have kids when I get married. So I want them there.
Yeah,
Like, Um yeah, I feel you. And also another thing, good thing they didn't really show too much of the wedding reception, I guess, but
yeah,
one thing I've noticed at weddings is like or good weddings is where both sides of the family are actually integrated and they're
yeah,
like talking to each other and you can tell they spent time together and it's like actually a family union type shit. Like I've been
yeah,
at weddings too where it was like it's like just two sides of the room and it's almost like segregation or some shit.
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It's just like you're supposed to be family. Like y'all supposed to have spent time together or at least try to be willing to get to know one another.
Well, I mean, a part of that's like the DJ's job, right? Like,
True.
especially
That's
like
true.
if you DJ in an interracial wedding, like that's that Taylor Swift is only gonna hit for one half of the family, and Beyonce's only gonna hit for the other half, and you got to try to thread that needle.
Yeah,
That's tough.
that's
Uh,
true.
but no, I mean, I haven't been to a lot of weddings, but most of them, I mean, by
Yeah.
definition, if you're dating and married and getting engaged, like your families have met each. I hope they've intertwined
It
some.
didn't. The one I went to, it did not feel like that. Like I was like, this is not what I want for my wedding at
Yeah,
all. Like this is like everything I like not to do. But you know what I mean?
yeah, I hear you.
Um. Okay, so they're in high school now.
Okay.
Um. He's supposed to be studying with Alicia, but he can't focus because they're both horny or whatever. So they go
Yep.
to her house and they have their first time. Of course, they're playing the Luther song in the background,
Yeah.
and then they agree to like date or
I
yeah, they agree to
think.
go be each other's dates
Yeah.
for the
They
dance.
agreed to go to the dance together, which is assumed to mean that they were high school sweethearts. And
Right.
she went to Columbia, which is a school in New York City,
Yep.
Manhattan, and he went to SC, Southern California. And I think that's just like most high school relationships. They went to college and broke up.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end there, but
True.
um, yeah. So very touching that he didn't claim the bet.
Yeah, I did.
You
I
know,
really like that.
because I mean I think he really loved her. So
Yeah,
I
he
mean if
did.
there was a part two, I'm glad there wasn't. But if there was a part two, they probably ended up being married. So
Yeah.
well, and then they linked at the wedding, right? She pulled up
Yeah,
to the wedding.
they
Yeah,
did
it
at the
was
wedding. He
Sanaa
said he
Lathan.
asked her,
Yeah,
yeah, Sanaa Lathan, who is still unbelievably fine to this day. God, I love that woman.
very
So if you're
attractive
hearing
older
this,
lady.
yeah, if you're hearing this Sanaa, my DMs are open for you and you alone. But
You are alone.
no, no, just kidding. That's a lie. Also, that's a lie. I'm podding. We podding right now.
Fair enough.
Um, but I wanted to ask you, um, which of the three characters or which of the three guys in the movie reminded you most of yourself?
Mike for sure. Just because I travel so much. I I I've been the out person trying to ingratiate myself to the in group. So Mike for sure. How about you?
I think when I was younger, I'd say Mike. I think as I've gotten older, I'd probably say uh a combination of well, I mean, I'd say my personality is more like Slim because I have no filter.
Yeah.
But I think Roland and Mike were more of the romantics.
Yeah. Well,
So in that sense, I relate to them.
so so if we're critiques, so we're critiquing the movie. Roland and Mike, I'm sorry, Roland and Slim need to be fleshed out more. They were kind of like just
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't you don't get a lot of them in the movie. It's
true.
really Mike's coming of age story, which is fine. You need a main character, but I would have liked to
Yeah,
see more of like I don't think we ever saw Roland and Slim without Mike. Like I don't know what their home lives
yeah. I
were like.
don't.
I don't know anything
True.
about them, and so which is fine. Again, Mike's the main character, but
Yeah,
to take the movie from pleasant experience to all time, I would have liked to see the more ancillary characters fleshed out. So
that's valid. That's valid.
we just don't know enough about Roland and Slim.
That's true. Yeah, you're
Like
right. That's a good point.
we don't know
Uh,
anything about Slim. We just know
no,
he went
not
to
not at
play
all. We
basketball.
just
Yeah, we just know
in
he
Europe,
played
and that was
basketball.
it.
That's it.
And he don't like having his car puked in.
Yeah, we know
That's
two of
pretty much
Roland.
it.
Yeah, two. We know Roland's wife and his ex, and that's all we know about him.
That's all we know.
But like
um,
it was a two, but the thing is, the movie had a pretty long runtime, so I don't even know why they
yeah, they
didn't
could
go
have
there.
fleshed him out more.
They could have cut a lot
I
of nonsense and just fleshed out the characters more.
Yeah, I even would have liked to have seen more of. I would have liked to have had a reason for us to want Roland to want to marry Lisa.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We just
yeah,
know that she's pretty and he wants to marry her and that's it. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. It's just you can tell the director was new,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
he had the bones of a good project that he didn't quite flesh all the way out. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the
Yeah,
movie.
I'm sure if he rewrote or remade that movie today, it would be different.
Well, like you watch like Best Man and Best Man Holiday, that we're not gonna count the Peacock shit.
No,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
like all eight of those characters are fleshed out. I know them. Like
Yeah,
granted, two movies versus one movie.
true.
Um, I get that, but like I understand those characters. Well, part of it was that there wasn't a lot of bouncing on the timeline. Like they didn't do any non-linear storytelling.
Yeah,
But
there's
like
like
there's
two
a if
flashbacks.
yeah, but like if you can flesh out eight characters in a 2 hour runtime, they can flesh out three. So but everything. If every movie was
Right.
a five, there it would. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
That's a fact. That's true. So we know about the bet where they were like, okay, whoever gets laid first, gets whatever the money is. They kept adding money to the pot throughout the course of the school year. Um, so what was your favorite when the girls were shooting them down for like 5 minutes straight? What was your favorite rejection line that they use on the boys?
Obviously, does it have to look like that? Does it supposed to look like that? Oh man, I think I would quit sex at that point. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and retire from sex. I don't really want to do this ever again. That for
She
sure.
said,
That
"You want
one.
to put that in me?"
All of those things made me uncomfortable as a grown man because I just like teenagers fumbling through
Yeah,
their first sexual experience is just not good cinema to
it's
me.
just not. It's just not like
I
it's.
didn't enjoy any of that.
It reminds me of like going back and listening to like 2014 Forest Hills Drive,
Yeah.
Cole's album as an
Oh, that
adult, like that Wet Dreams. That
yeah.
song.
Oh God. Let's not rap about teenage sex. I'm good. Like it's an
Yeah,
experience we
like
all have to fumble through. Don't really need to relive that. It wasn't great. It's
yeah,
not. It's just it's a grown man like just peeking into this experience just was just not I didn't enjoy any of
yeah. I didn't need to.
that.
We don't need to. Like I remember mine, and I get
Yeah,
it, but
it's there's a reason you
yeah,
don't talk about it. It's not
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not it's not interesting.
Yeah, no one needs those details.
No, not at all. How about you? What was your favorite one?
um, I think. He was like, "Come on, babe, why don't we just make love?" And she's like, first of all, you don't love me, and it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
And then he goes, You already started on the wrong path. You might as well finish it.
Let's teach these boys to think about coercion.
Yeah, right.
Just
Even
take that
when
no and go about your day.
yeah,
Like
just take it and go on about your day, man.
that's
Even
another thing
when
that made me
Slim
uncomfortable in those scenes. Very 90s concept of consent.
that is true.
You
That's a
know,
fact because
if
yeah, today
you're
that would
asking
be
10, 11, 15, 16, stop.
yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. Even like remember when Slim was trying to hit, fuck that the light skinned girl, and he was like, "Man, you look that nigga Terry Bone. I know I look
Yeah.
better than him."
Again, all of it was just it was like a time capsule from
Yeah,
pre Me Too
just
before.
what not to do.
Correct. It was all painful. No crimes were committed, but it just felt icky. Uh
Yeah,
like
like
so.
if you had a son, you tell him never to do
Don't do
any of that shit.
that. Don't do that. Watch the
So any
scenes
any
for
young
what
any
not to do.
yeah any young guys listening, don't do none of that shit.
No.
If she says no, you respect her and you go home,
Go
and that's
home.
it.
Go home. Ain't worth it. Just
Yeah,
you
just
get
go home, Roger.
no. Go ahead and pack it up, buddy. Call your Uber. Like
Yeah, get the fuck out.
yeah. You have anything else?
Um. Uh. Oh, it's funny because like they make three bets in this movie, and Mike basically wins all of them.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you just should stop betting with Mike.
Well, again, that's because Mike's the only character in the movie, right? Mike and
Oh yeah.
Alicia.
So he never told anyone's the ones he lost. That's funny.
Correct. And so I imagine those weren't the only three bets that they made ever. But Mike's the
Right.
narrator, so we tend to
Yeah, they
tell
probably made
stories
bets every
that
day.
highlight us in our best light. So I imagined there were
That's
other
true.
bets that he didn't claim the big bet. So
Yeah,
I think Roland
that's
actually
true.
won it. So
Yeah, I assume Roland
got you
won.
running around like the Lakers, man.
Yeah,
All
I won this
right.
game. It's a classic.
Anything else? We
Oh
done?
shit, my bad. I thought you were gonna ask something. Yeah.
God, everything.
Um. Oh yeah, just also like I mean I know we get cold feet and I understand that, but fumbling Lisa Ray in the '90s is nuts.
Did he fumble her? They married.
Nearly fumbling, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
contemplating just leaving her at the altar is crazy.
well, again, I'm surprised the movie just kind of yada yada past the whole he spent the night before his wedding with his ex-girlfriend drunk.
Yeah.
No one
No one's like, hey, where the fuck were you?
Mike and Slim were bizarrely cavalier about this.
Yeah. By the way, what's crazy to me is they never asked him what happened. He Slim only asked her what happened, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
and
Because like,
yeah, I just, he was not just like tipsy. He wasn't drunk. He was blasted. He
he
was
was
wasted. Like,
gone.
so
He
like
was fucking gone.
I just, and again, it's not like he stumbled through the door and she was like, "What the fuck? Get out of here. You're da 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 da." She seemed
Yeah,
she seemed very nurturing. We'll put it that way.
true. And he had his
Um,
jacket off.
correct. Oh,
And his
correct.
shirt and tie were all fucked up too.
I had a cough.
Yeah, you good. Yes, shirt and tie was fucked up. Yeah, he looked pretty disheveled for someone who had just arrived at someone's house.
Yeah. He looked like he got dressed in a haste. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell him you got here an hour ago. Put your
Yeah.
clothes on and
And this suit was real wrinkly.
as fuck.
All right, man. We're starting to talk in circles. What do you rate it?
Uh, I give it I give it 3 stars.
Okay.
I just wish they had fleshed out Roland and Slim a little more and focused more, or not focused more, but gave us more information on Lisa and Slim's. I mean, Lisa and Roland's relationship. But other than that, I love this movie. Excellent soundtrack, great like camera work, cinematography, and it's also a director's first shot. Like that's a great way to come out the gate.
I also give it a 3. Same critiques as you. I wish they had, just fleshed out some more characters, gave the movie more meat on the bone.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like we had that same issue with Love Jones too. Like a lot of these
yeah,
90s black movies were, to be fair, shot on very small budgets.
yes,
And the
yeah,
thing is, like, we're seeing these actresses and actors through our present day lens as the stars that they are, but this is the 90s. These were very
these are all their first big roles.
beginning, like, and so like, so like I just wish my point is that I wish there was space for all of these acts to do their final, like the more polished versions of themselves doing these movies again.
Yeah.
Like I would like this director to take a second pass at this movie, basically. And I think
Hmm.
there's there's a 5 in there if he had the budget and the time and the experience that he has today to take a second
Yeah.
pass at it. All right. Thanks for listening. My name is Darius. D's all of your area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan. Jordan be writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, subscribe. We are Movie Goers Pod on all socials. Movie Goers PD on Twitter. That is PD on Twitter.
And for any ongoing movie recommendations, reach out to us via email at moviegoerspod@gmail.com. That's moviegoerspod@gmail.com. That's a wrap. Thanks for coming to the movies with us. Tune in next week. We'll be reviewing Memento. See you guys next week.